Uncover the wisdom of the feminine through soulful conversations on spirituality, healing, relationships, self-leadership, sovereignty, and so much more. I'm your host, Tamar Gale, feminine embodiment facilitator, feminine arts mentor, and soul tantrika. In this podcast, my goal is to take you deeper into the world of the feminine, stepping more into your feminine pleasure, power, authentic truth, and your sovereignty. Welcome to the Feminine Codes podcast. So welcome back to the Feminine Codes podcast. If you have been following me, you know that I love to deep dive into the archetypes. And so today we're going to be speaking about the archetype of the Sacred Father and restoring the pillar of the Divine Masculine. And I feel like this is the perfect time because we just celebrated Father's Day over this weekend here in the US. And recently, I spoke about the sacred union between the divine feminine and divine masculine within ourselves and how healing these energies allows us to step into a life of abundance, creation, deep safety, stepping out of that survival mode and into being able to fully receive. So I think it's just fitting that we move and kind of transition into the divine father and divine mother archetypes as well. So here we go. The masculine pillar of the Sacred Father has been devalued, it's been distorted, and it's almost fully been erased from our modern world. A strong, present, and sacred masculine is the foundation of a thriving family, a thriving society, a thriving future for our humanity. And so there's an issue that I see happening where the father oftentimes feels broken. He's absent, completely absent from the family. He feels disempowered. And when this happens, the entire structure of the family is also broken. And by extension, the world begins to crumble. And yet, we live in a culture that disrespects, that ridicules, diminishes the role of the father. A culture that tells women that we don't need men, that tells men that they are either useless, toxic, unnecessary in our lives. And that conditions all of us to believe that the masculine is inherently harmful rather than honoring the father as the force of protection, leadership, provision, divine order that is meant to be, that it truly is. As awakened women who are desiring to see a better future for our children, it is our responsibility to honor and respect the men who embody the Sacred Father archetype, to uplift them, to call them forward, to call them up, and to recognize that they are irreplaceable. Their role is irreplaceable in shaping the lives of our children, the lives of the next generation. Because a world without strong, conscious men is a world without structure, without safety, without the sacred balance that allows the feminine to fully thrive. The Sacred Father, the pillar of protection, of provision, of divine order, is the anchor of the masculine. Embodying these essential roles are important for the Sacred Father archetype. The protector. The protector creates safety, both physically and energetically. His presence allows his family and his community to feel secure, to feel rooted, and to feel held. The provider, not just financially, ladies, but emotionally and spiritually. The provider offers wisdom, he offers guidance, he offers unwavering support. And that is just as important. Another pillar of the Sacred Father is the king and the leader. He holds divine authority, not through dominance, but through his integrity, his strength, his devotion. And through this, he sets the foundation upon which future generations can build upon. And when the Sacred Father is present and he's fully embodied, his children grow up feeling secure, deeply secure in themselves and in the world. They develop the emotional stability, knowing that they are protected, that they are safe to fully express themselves as they are in their authenticity. They also develop their inner strength. They learn resilience and self-discipline from the father who is able to lead by example. And these children also have healthy identity, especially for sons who look to their fathers as role models for how to really be an embodiment of masculine energy. And they also learn how to respect the feminine, especially for daughters who learn from their fathers what love is, what love feels like, which love to accept from a man. She also learns what honor feels like, what healthy masculine presence feels like, so that when she goes out into the world and she begins to date, she chooses wisely because she chooses someone like her father, someone who shows up like her father, that holds space for her like her father. But when the father is absent, physically, emotionally, even spiritually, children grow up with a deep sense of instability, with a feeling of insecurity, and with a feeling of loss. Boys grow up disconnected from their masculine power. And unfortunately, we see a lot of that today. They are either passive and unsure of themselves, or are overly aggressive in a desperate attempt to claim their lost strength. And girls, they grow up without a blueprint for how a man should love them, to protect them, honor them. And often they seek love in places that end up hurting them worse, destroying them, wounding them. How many of you can relate to any of this? A strong, present, and awakened father changes everything. But there's been an attack on the Sacred Father archetype, on the sacred masculine. Why has fatherhood been devalued? Why has the masculine been demonized, ridiculed, and erased from the cultural narrative? And believe me, women, they have also been through this just as much as we have. Because a weak, absent father creates a weak, lost generation. That is why we are seeing a lot of wounded girls and boys. Why we're seeing men that are passive and or overly aggressive. Why we're seeing girls choosing bad boys and ending up in toxic cycles of relationship. Fatherless homes are at the root of countless societal issues: higher crime rates, increased depression, lack of self-worth. The toxic masculinity narrative has shamed men for their strength and has been teaching them to suppress rather than fully embody their divine power. Women have been conditioned now to do it all alone. And they've been encouraged to dismiss help, to dismiss the masculine, to compete with the masculine, or to belittle the masculine rather than learn how to co-create with it. And this is not done by accident. A broken masculine means a broken society. A weakened father means a weakened foundation. And a weakened foundation means that the next generation is easier to manipulate, to control, and they disconnect from their true power. So they no longer have the sovereignty. But we are waking up. We, as conscious, awakened women, have a role to play in restoring and honoring the Sacred Father. Not by trying to fix men, but by recognizing and respecting those who are already doing the work. By calling forth the men who are stepping into their divine power. By holding a vision for true partnership where the masculine and the feminine rise together rather than apart. And so what does this look like when we put this into action? How do we, as awakened women, support the return of the Sacred Father in our families and our relationships and in our world? First, recognize and respect the men who show up. Recognize and respect. The men who protect, provide, and lead with integrity deserve to have our honor, ladies, not our skepticism or our resentment. So learn how to see the men who are really showing up. Instead of focusing on what's missing, focus on the men who are already embodying their sacred masculine and acknowledge their presence. Call forth the king, not the wounded boy. Speak to the highest version of the men in your life. See their strength, not their weakness. Invite them into leadership rather than diminishing them. Hold a standard, not from a place of control, but from a place of honor and respect. The masculine rises when it is respected, not when it's shamed. Who would? Heal your own wounded masculine energy. If you have resistance to trusting the masculine, ask yourself where that wound is coming from. Have you been conditioned to believe that men are inherently untrustworthy, that they are weak or incapable? Do you feel like you have to always do it by yourself, that you have to always do it alone? That surrendering to support is somehow dangerous? If so, then these are wounds. They're not truth. Healing them is going to allow you to receive the full power of the sacred masculine, of the Sacred Father in your life. The next one, raise the next generation to honor the Sacred Father. Teach your sons what true masculinity looks like, what it is, not through suppression, but through sacred strength. Teach your daughters what it means to be honored by a man, not through control, but through devotion, his devotion to her. And fathers, you do that through your devotion to the mother and to your children. You show the way. Show them the beauty of divine partnership, the harmony of masculine and feminine, working together as it was always meant to be. We are at a turning point, and the world is waking up to the importance of the sacred masculine just as it is waking up to the importance of the sacred feminine. The return of the Sacred Father is not just about men reclaiming their power, it's about all of us restoring balance. And so if this spoke to you, and if you're ready to deepen your connection to the sacred masculine in yourself, in your relationships, in your family, then let's talk. Let's explore how we can work together, whether through deep feminine embodiment, sacred union, mentorship, healing of the wounding within your body that's stored within your body from your ancestors, from your childhood even, or healing your own relationship to the masculine. Because when the father rises, the mother flourishes. Have you ever heard the saying that when mama's happy, everybody's happy? When the mother flourishes, the world is healed. It's time to honor and restore the Sacred Father. Our future is depending on it.